Hi, and welcome to the Code Maven channel, and welcome to this meeting. My name is Gabor Sabo. In this video, I'm going to work with Lior Mizrahi. Hi, Lior.
Hello.
In just a second, I'll let you introduce yourself. But to people who are watching this video, so we're going to do some pair programming about Lior's open source project. And I'll let you basically say a couple of words about yourself and about the project, so we'll have a better background than what I would be able to say.
Sure. So, hi, I'm Lior. For the last 5 years, I'm a lead developer at Bluevine, a small startup. It's not small anymore, huh? It's a startup in fintech. We are basically like a bank for small businesses in the States. And except for that, for my personal, in my personal time, I'm a co-organizer for PyData and PyCon conference in Israel. And I have a small project named s3path. And today we're going a little bit to talk about it, and after that a little bit playing with it and maybe even fixing some bugs or something like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. We also need to discuss a little bit of how we are going to work on this project. Earlier, I mean, you have a lot more experience in pair programming than I do, but maybe I have more experience in remote pair programming. I don't know how much you do that. Up till now, what I did in these events was mostly that I opened my terminal. I use VI for most of my editing anyway, and then I opened my browser and share my screen, and the other person mostly told me what to do, and sometimes we discussed things, and that's how we made progress. In other places where actually I also do similar things for my clients, and in those cases it usually was that the client opened whatever editor they had, they shared the screen, and I was mostly the person who was telling them what to do in most of the cases. And they were trying to write the application, so because they were the ones who were supposed to learn things. And sometimes where we were really exploring things, it was sort of a mix. Sometimes I open the editor and then we are trying to discuss and research something and see how it makes progress. So
most of the times when I do pair programming with another developers, it's face-to-face. And then we have one monitor, one computer, one or two monitors and two keyboards, and that's it. And that's how we play. For remote, there is Tmux or Wimux that do the same. They take like a SSH session with terminal and join the two people together. For today, I think that you are right. I can a little bit share and show some stuff, and then you can share and start working. And basically, I think even Zoom have a feature like that I can take control from your computer, and then we can play together. Maybe
I never really tried that. So we can maybe try, but I never tried that, or maybe once I tried, but it wasn't working that well. Maybe because the delay. I saw the Vmux, which allow so for Tmux is basically, in order to use the Tmux, either we have a third server there and we are working there where we can both SSH, or we have somehow have to open an SSH inbound link to one of each other's, and I'm not sure that's a good idea. Security issues. I mean, as much as I trust you, well, maybe not.
Don't trust me.
But the point is that probably we don't want to. I mean, if something goes wrong in the computer at the time when we are doing this, then it's going to be this strange feeling. Okay, what might have maybe something to do with this. and whatever. So that's one of the reasons. And I think Vmux or whatever it's called is basically allowing to do this in a more comfortable way, but still accessing each other's computer. So I think the ideal for this session would be, I mean, maybe if it's a corporate setup when you don't care, you would access each other's computer anyway. That's different. Or set up a developer server where you can both SSH to and which only has a limited set of things.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's do this, that you show the whatever you thought that you wanted to show, and then we can work on the code.
Sure, so I will present, and then we will start to work. I will move to you.
Okay.
So first, couple of words of what is actually s3path. Okay, so s3path is split between two projects. Okay, one project is the standard library pathlib. Do you know what is pathlib, or should I say a couple of words?
Say a couple of words. I encountered it a couple of times. Usually it wasn't for the good.
Basically, in Python 2.7, we had in the standard library, we had only OS path to control the file system. Okay. In Python 3.4, if I'm not mistaken, they added the pathlib. Used to be an open source, and they migrated to the standard library. And basically what it means, it takes object-oriented design and wrap it in like a wrapper for OS path. So you can take a path class and iterate between all the files that you have in your system, or you can choose a file and basically read or write to every IO from the file system that you want.
Yeah, I guess so. Instead of calling like dir name on a string, you would call parent, and then you would get the object that represents the parent class, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now it's object oriented, so you are only using the path object, but under the hood, you have something like two main classes, one for Windows machines and one for Linux machines. Okay, so for example, here he's taking the path in the current directory, okay, if you're familiar with the Linux.
Yeah, sure.
And then automatically you can see that when he's iterating on every path that is a directory, okay, you see that actually the path converted to a Linux path type.
Okay. Can you enlarge the font a little bit, please?
Yeah, of course, sorry.
Just a little. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
Okay, so path now under the hood, how to switch between Linux and Windows file system. Depends on your kernel, okay?
Yeah.
Another thing is S3, okay? So what is S3? S3 is a cloud-oriented service, AWS managed service, and it's kind of like a file system. You can look at it like a file system, but actually it's a gigantic hash table for files, for big binary files. Okay, so this is an example of how it looks. You have like a bucket, and in the bucket you have files. Okay, and you can look at the files like if you're looking at it as a hash table, it's the key. But if you're looking at it as a file system, you can actually spread it between folders and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the slashes there basically they don't mean anything for S3. The directory structure that we think, or we might think as a directory structure, doesn't mean anything there.
Yeah.
It's just another character, the slash.
Yeah. So if I'm taking AWS CLI, for example, okay, you can actually see, so you can have AWS, S3, LS, okay, LS is exactly like file system, and then you can see all the folders. Or for example, this is like a folder with a lot of pip files, okay, that's kind of like a PyPy emulator. Okay? So if I do like this, I can see folders. They're not actually folders, but S3 knows to be smart and split it like folders.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what is the problem? The problem, just a second. The problem is when we are going to the implementation for Python developers. It's called Boto. Okay, you have Boto free.
Yeah.
And in Boto, it's a little bit less nice. The API is less Pythonic. It's a little bit too much things you need to know in order to use it. And that's what s3path is doing. It's like
it's a wrapper around, I guess, about this Moto 3 to provide you an interface like Passlib.
Exactly. You can take exactly the same. It's like an extension. We had Pathlib have Windows and Linux extensions.
Okay.
And S3 is another extension that use it for S3.
Okay. Yeah. So you can have a file system, a Windows-based file system, a Linux-ish file system. Doesn't really matter which one because it's above that level, and then you can have a S3 as a file system.
Basically, the history of s3path is I was at a EuroPython conference, and I met one of the developers of Boto3. I said, man, I love you guys. I love your services. They are great. But sorry that I'm saying it like that, but your Python SDK, not nice. It's not Pythonic enough. It's not structured.
And I'm sure they loved you.
And I find in myself using more the CLI, the AWS CLI, in order to use it, instead of using Boto.
Yeah.
And the developer said, look, Lior, you are right. I had exactly the same problem. When I'm writing components, I'm sub-processing and using the AWS CLI instead of using Boto free. And then we drank a little bit and we found ourselves having the idea of using the standard library API, Pathlib API, in order to give a more Pythonic and more clean API for Python developers for S3.
Yeah, well, sounds like, okay, once you learn the API, you don't care anymore that, okay, now we are using S3.
By the way, it was so success. There is another developer that created exactly the same library, but for Google Cloud Services file handlers. Okay, so you can take the beautiful thing here is you can take a good clean API from the standard library and use it in order to use it for other services like it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so for today, we have a good, nice error, bug that we need to fix. Okay, basically, this is a nice developer that said, look, we have a bug here. Okay. There is an API method called unlink. It have an argument, and we are not using this argument when we are thinking about S3.
Okay, not nice.
Okay, this is the part that I think that we can switch, right?
Okay, so shall I take over now the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me organize. So I already have this open to your repository. I am in the day mode. And I also have the, sorry?
It happens sometime.
Yeah, we are in day mode. And I lost it now. Here it is. Okay, so I guess I just clone it for now.
Clone, or the best practice is forking.
No, I don't. I have a new best practice.
That's fine.
Okay, I have a new best practice. I'll show you in a second, but yeah, okay, so we are here. Okay,
okay,
what shall we do?
LL, great. So all my projects, I love actually Pathlib in order to manage the system and everything.
Okay.
You have a pipenv install?
It's pip, yeah. We are in a virtual environment.
Yeah, but basically my virtual environment is specified in a pip file.
Okay, so you want me to exit my current virtual environment and work without that? Because
yes. Do you have a pipenv? Or do you want me
what is pipenv? Maybe I don't know what is pipenv. I just use virtual env.
Okay, let's switch again.
Okay, I'll just tell you, I use virtual env and I have a single virtual env for like all of my work because I'm too lazy to have separate virtual env for each project and so on. So I just
for people like you,
yeah,
they made pipenv.
Yeah. Okay. So pipenv. So let's start with this. I always learn something interesting. So I deactivate my current virtual env. Okay.
You can do pip install.
Okay. So now it just uses this.
Okay.
So I'll just have clean. It doesn't know about any of my.
So let's do like this. Write Python 3 space -m space pip install pipenv. Basically, what it does, it's install the pipenv library in your Python 3 environment, system environment.
But it won't. How can it
Excuse me?
Where did it put it?
In the system.
No, it can't. I'm not root user here.
So I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll still sign this.
Okay, so now you can do pipenv.
Wait a second, it's complaining about warning the script pip and the pip resolver are installed in here. Installed in your path.
Write for a second pipenv.
No.
No.
It's here. Okay. So
okay, that's fine. So do like this. Oh, okay.
I'll have it for now, and then maybe later on I add it to my actual workflow if
basically pipenv is wrapping the virtual env and pip as one CLI. Okay. Yeah. Do for a second cat for a pip file without the pipenv in the start. Capital P. Okay, so what is pip file? Pip file specify your environment. It specify where is your PyPy repository. It specify the packages that we need to install. It specify
instead of requirements.
Exactly.
Okay.
Specify your dev environment, and it specify not must, specified Python version, but it's not a must Python version.
It's a minimum, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. So now we can do something like this. You can do pip env install --dev. Okay,
That's
so
it?
yeah, this will create a virtual environment.
Ha.
What? Ugh.
It's newer.
No, that's fine. You need to specify --, Python and Python 3.
And just cite Python 3 or the path.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, so it creates the virtual environment, and then it's installing all the requirements.
Just, no, it didn't like something.
Okay, do it without the dev. Sorry
No problem. That's part of the whole fun of it, that we encounter issues, and that's just to be clear. Some people, when I talk to them that, okay, let's do this pair programming, they said, okay, what I'm going to present or whatever, or how do I prepare myself? And the whole point for me is that we just work, we just make some progress. And in the video, those people who watch it, they will see real work, not some prepared something that they don't know, they don't encounter all the failures. And then when they, so I'm sure that other people who will try to do this will encounter some problem like this or something else. And okay, so I'm happy that we have some issues.
Let's try another thing.
Okay.
For those cases, I added a make file as well. Okay.
But what could be the problem here?
I think that we have a little bit issue.
Something parse expected string end at character 11.
Yeah, not sure. I'm not sure. But
something old in my computer, something
could be, but we can avoid that. Basically, if you see in the start, it said that's fine. Just check. The check failed. What pipenv is doing is creating a log file with all the real dependencies. In the pip file, I'm writing all the base dependencies that I need, but it creates a log file with all the dependencies and all the graph of dependencies.
Okay.
So in this case, we don't need it. What you can do is, again, do exactly the same, but this time add a parameter that specify --, skip lock.
One word? Like this?
No. Skip. You can
skip lock?
Skip -lock. And remember to add the --dev. Yeah, that will
okay.
Okay, so now it won't check the environment. It just will install the environment.
Okay.
In this case, it's fine because I'm using pathlib only for development. Pipenv only for development environment. I'm not using it for the real setup or something like that.
Let me just say. So I see you're not. How do you have any CI setup? Travis, I see.
I have Travis, and you can see I have a make file as well. I like to wrap it cleanly most of the time. Yeah. So the init is installing the pipenv. Dev mode will create it, test, and all the rest. You can see that I'm always running under the pipenv environment, right? So when I'm running it inside pipenv, I'm not in the system environment, but I can go back always to the system environment, and that way I don't have to be like you and have one environment for all my systems.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just too lazy for having separate
That's
ones.
fine. Okay, so now we can do pip env shell, and shell will get us inside the virtual environment, exactly like you started at the start.
So wait a second, where did it install the virtual env? In here, local share? No.
One line before.
Sorry, this one? Local share virtual env here. Okay.
Yeah. So again, pip env is a wrapper between pip and between virtual environment.
Okay, so pip env shell, it gets into the virtual environment.
Boom, exactly. Okay, now you can see that you are inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
before we start, let's move for a second to the documentation. And let's check in pipenv, sorry, not in pipenv, in pathlib, what exactly the issue specified. Let's talk a second about the method and what does it do in normal file system. And then let's think design. What does it supposed to do in S3 case, right? Because it's not exactly the same.
Okay.
So if you will open another tab and write a Python pathlib, and then let's check in pathlib what is the unlink method.
Sorry, Python, pathlib,
yeah,
unlink.
Yeah, sure. Great. Now let's exactly.
Okay. Remove this file or symbolic link if the path points to a directory. Use path render instead. If missing, okay, is false, the default. And error is raised if the path doesn't exist. If missing, okay, is true. File found exceptions will be ignored. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, missing okay equals true means I need to catch the file system exception and not raise it.
So it's not you are raising the exception, but something else, and then you just have to sweep it under the carpet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, okay, great. So let's check, before we continue, let's check our documentation. And let's see if we need to, go down. Okay, I have a specific documentation, exactly the same format, like pathlib. So if you go down and see abstract, go down until the end.
Yeah, we don't have the word unlink here.
I know. Here you have further documentation. You have advanced pathlib, one down. Abstract. So
abstract pathlib. Yeah, I can enlarge the fonts if you. I mean, you are not that young, okay? So you're younger than me. That you're not that young, okay?
You're not that young. No, you're right. Abstract pathlib. Yeah, great. Now let's look here for unlink. Okay, so I see that unlink it's something like delete for folders or buckets, right?
Okay.
And I see two things.
And it will raise a final found error.
Yeah, I see that we need to fix it in the code, but we need to fix it in the documentation as well.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we can jump to the code.
Okay, so here we are.
Yeah, so pathlib is just one module, Okay, you can do vim pathlib s3, sorry, not pathlib, s3 path, exactly. Let's search here for unlink.
Two. Right, there are two places, two definitions for two.
Yeah, this is the important one. So that's, if you want, I can explain under the hood what is going on here.
Okay.
Basically, pathlib have the API level, and it have something that called wait a minute, let me check the exact name. Okay, it have a flavor. Flavor that it's specified, for example, in Windows and Linux, is the dash is here or here, right? It's the flavor of the file system.
Okay.
And another thing that we have here is accessor. Yeah.
Where are you reading now?
Inside the code. Do you want me to share?
Yeah. Tell me, or share your screen. Shall I give you?
Go to line 141. Okay, so accessor is the in the normal pathlib, it's the class that maps the function to OS path methods.
Okay.
Okay, in our system, it's the place that I do the boto fun. Right? So if you go a little bit down, okay, so you can know, for example, that stat on a path in the normal equals to OS path stat, and it gives metadata from the file system about the path. Okay. In this case, I'm using boto S3 resource to get information, and I'm returning a name tuple that looks like the name tuple that the OS library is giving back, in order that it will be, it looks the same.
That's here, right? This is what gets the from S3. From
the
Boto.
Yeah, and if you search where are we using the S3 accessor.
So this is where we
you can see
defined.
You can see that the person that wrote it likes very much object-oriented, so it's a singleton, okay? Yeah. And if I'm looking for the singleton, except for here, this is interesting but not relevant. Oh, here in the init, okay, it's the accessor is instance member of the path of the path level. Okay, if you look, which is it's a init from where, okay. Go up, you can see that here, exactly, it's the s3path object.
Yeah.
Okay. So if, for example, I will look for, let me say, okay, in my system, you won't see it. Can I share my screen for a second? I want to show you something. So Boto basically is, I'm sorry, Vim is great, but there is one case that I like better, PyCharm. And this is this case. PyCharm, it's easier for me specifically to jump to the standard library, okay? So this is the standard library, right?
Yeah.
If I'm, wait a minute, let me, okay, this is the path, okay? The path object. Here is the place that we are mapping between the Linux and the Windows path, okay? And if I'm looking at most of the, just a second here, if I'm looking at most of the methods, you can see that it's actually just calling the accessor.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm looking now, for example, and in s3path, okay, most of the places I will just call super.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will take it down to their level.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding the commentations and stuff that you can never see. I'm adding the commentation, and I'm changing only the accessor level, but I don't need to actually change the base level. Okay, because
Right.
you understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is one of the cases. When you saw, you can now go back to show your screen. When you saw the method twice, one of them was the actual place that we are implementing the call, and the second one is the place that we are just calling super.
Yeah.
And here you see the issue. The issue is
Now.
I don't care about the missed KO.
Yeah. You just disregard the whole thing.
Exactly. I already know how it happened. I wrote it, and then Python 8.3 come up. I just added it so I can say that this project is Python 3.8 compatible, but
Yeah.
I took as didn't, you understand?
Yeah. I mean, I know exactly how to add bugs or lack of feature or whatever we call it. I do it a lot quite often. That I add back bugs. Okay, whatever.
Okay, so here we have two things that we need to do. First, the easy one is just to the super add the parameter that we are missing.
So passing it here.
Yeah.
So just say missing okay equal to missing okay.
Exactly. My best practice is always using named arguments instead of arguments, because you will never know in the future which another argument you will have, and you don't want to care about ordering.
Okay.
Now, the second one is you can see between line 649 and line 656, I can raise exceptions. So we need to wrap these lines as well with some kind of try except.
Do you want to accept? I mean, why to even check this and raise an exception if you don't want to raise an exception? So why catch it and disregard it instead of just saying that, okay, this whole section, oops, sorry, that this whole section shouldn't
Just
even
delete
run.
it and that's it.
Sorry?
Just delete it and that's it. I'm joking.
No, I'm saying, what?
No, I'm joking.
No, I just undid because I jumped away and that's how we got back.
Yeah.
So why not just say here that these whole 4 lines are going to be executed only if the missing okay is whatever.
Yeah, so you need to remember, we are not dealing with a local a local system, a local optimized file system. We are using HTTP in the best part request to Amazon. Everything is more pricey. I will rather do here a small HTTP request to check if this path is a dir and go away, go down, and not continuing and doing more checks.
Ah, you mean, oh, okay. So I understand that you want to catch the exception and just return if there is an exception.
Exactly.
I see. Okay.
It will be better than continuing and doing another request that you don't have to do.
Okay.
Okay. So personally, in my opinion, we can, it's your call, but we can wrap some way those 4 lines from 653 to 656. You can either do a try except or change the if statement. That's
your code.
Huh?
It's your code.
Yeah, but it's not just me. What do you prefer?
I have no idea. I would at this point I would just probably write this. And then there's just return.
So I don't like really raising all kinds of exceptions, because maybe one of the exception can be
different ones.
Yeah, for example, you don't have the right credentials to Amazon.
Yeah.
This one I want to raise, right? So
okay.
I will do in the accept, I will create a tuple and catch only the is a directory and
this is a
file.
Okay, sure. I just wasn't even paying attention really that we actually know the names of the exact exceptions.
We can only know, always know the exceptions. And here you can say if, instead of just return, if is missing, missing okay equals to true. That's exactly what you wrote. Return. Except else, or without else, just a line after that, raise. So what we are doing, we are catching the exception.
Yeah.
If the flag is true, we are returning quietly. Else, we are continuing the exception.
Okay.
Great. So the coding part is done. And now for the real part, testing.
Okay.
So let's go to the tests section of the library. Exactly, path operations. Now,
this one, right?
And let's search for unlink test. Perfect.
Okay, these are all the unlink tests.
Okay, so basically, the only thing that we need to do is copy paste the free with
these three tests.
Yeah, but remove the with the context manager and do the link with missing OK equals to 2.
What do you mean remove the context manager?
So we
not
can
just copy the six lines.
You can copy only the 3 lines that inside the context manager that is doing the unlink. So this line, yeah, you can copy it and do pass, exactly.
Okay, because you're not catching exceptions. There shouldn't be exceptions, right? So maybe no spaces here either. And then pass in this parameter, which I already forgot what it's called. It's called missing OK and give it a true. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. You can start writing a miss and then do a command P.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. Okay.
Okay. Now let's just run the test, see that everything's working and we didn't blow up the system.
So just run PyTest?
Yeah. That's great. Everything passed.
Okay.
Bravo. Now, the last thing that we need to do is fix the documentation.
Okay. Which is?
So go documentations, advanced, not advanced, infrastructure, interface, yeah. Now let's look here for unlink. Great. So first thing, exactly, we can end here the missing.
Missing OK? What was it called? Missing OK, yeah.
Okay, and we can add another line after this line and said if missing.
Okay, some quotes, single quotes somewhere here.
Sounds perfect.
Maybe we should explicitly say which exceptions won't be raised.
We already specifically said before that the exception is those two.
Okay. Good.
Sounds right, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically now show me what is your special way to add code without writing a fork.
No, I do have a fork. It's just the difference is, and so I guess I want to have a branch here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a branch, git add docs, interface, the s3path, and the tests. This Py project toml has changed, but it's an untracked file. Probably should be in git ignore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, git status, git check in, and add missing OK parameter to the unlink method, fixing, what was this? 61, right?
Correct.
61. Okay, and now what I do, this is the new best practice I have, is now that I already know that I actually want to do something, okay, I'll fork the project to one of my 10,000 accounts there. And I add git remote add fork, I call it. And this one, okay? So it was sort of disturbing to me that origin was actually mine and then uplink was the original. Okay, that's the original. So now origin is the original and fork is my fork. So that's my new best practice. I know it's not much, but
oh, that's nice.
Git push minus u fork and then this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And shall I wait for anything for Travis to do something, or Travis takes a lot of time now? So
Travis, yeah, takes a lot of time. Plus, I need to add a couple of my fixes to create a new version. We won't do it today, but basically that's it. Just the only thing that is left is to create a pull request. Yeah.
okay. So there you go. So we can do more stuff here if you'd like, if you have time. We have like, usually I allocate like 2 hours, and we've done it in less than an hour. We were really to the point.
That's not good. You want
That's
more
really
time?
good. That's I'm just surprised. But the earlier, well, in the earlier videos we had like a longer project, so we were working on it. And one of them, like we already had 4 times 2 hours because we're working on a project from scratch. But
yeah, that's the beauty in s3path. S3path is not so big.
yeah,
It's
no,
just
but it was also a project from scratch, so we didn't have any code yet. And
yeah, I get it.
Bren. So what? I have these branches, so I just going to git checkout master, and I'm going to remove this one, right? Put into git ignore.
Yeah, that's fine.
No?
I think that I already did it and then it didn't work or something, so I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm not sure.
What do you mean didn't work?
It's like it was there, but still it changed things. Oh, I'm not seeing it, but other people see it. So I'm
Do
not
you
sure.
maybe have? Oh, okay.
You
So
can
shall I
add
add
it to
it?
the Git. Yeah, sure. But actually, it's a little bit good that we finished now because my wife want to clean here the baby and want to clean it.
Okay. So git branch. Also, I'll just create a branch, and it's not a big deal anymore. I'll just create a branch and send the pull request with this one as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a very short episode, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that other people enjoyed it. Those people who watched it enjoy it, and I hope that we'll be able to do something else later on. Continue. I see that I can learn a lot from you, and maybe I can help with some of your projects.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So thank you very much, and see you. Bye bye.
See you.